Welcome back to another video, my brothers. In today's video I want to discuss when a man should get married. But before I dive into it, I'm just going to have a sip of this cappuccino. So, marriage. It's obviously a big responsibility, but one that we shouldn't shy away from as men. The important question, however, is when should you get married? And there aren't many fathers out there preparing their sons for marriage. From the culture that I come from, we are encouraged to get married very young. But I have my own opinions about men getting married very young. As nice as the idea is for a man to meet his childhood sweetheart, or to meet a girl when he's 20, 21, and for them to both fall in love and get married, I mean, on paper that sounds great. And I guess you could say that that's every guy's dream. You know, to meet a beautiful girl and start a family very young. And you'd be surprised, because I know a lot of women think that men just want to fuck around. I mean, yes, there are some men that want to do that. But there's also a large group of men that would love to settle down with a woman that they find very attractive, start a life together and from humble beginnings. But I will say this, however, this whole Disney fairy tale isn't realistic. In the real world, there are many things that you have to think about as a man. The obvious thing, and the most important thing in my opinion, is money. Now, women don't go for men solely for money, but when it comes to the topic of marriage, money and future prospects are on a woman's mind. You could be a stud, you could be a Chad or a Tyrone, you could look amazing. You could be in shape, I mean, you could look physically attractive, you could be charismatic, but if your future prospects aren't enticing, if the woman has concerns about how you make your money, in most cases they won't commit their future to you. Right? Women can meet you for a date, and some women even sleep with men that they find attractive relatively soon. I personally don't endorse hookup culture. I believe it's degenerate. You know, keep that shit to marriage. Believe me, fellas, it's a lot better for you. But I will say this. As men, we need to focus on our purpose. When you're 20, 21, 22, and I would say even up until your late 20s as a man, you're still figuring out what the fuck you want to do for the rest of your natural life. It's quite a daunting thing to think about on a regular basis. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And most of us, we get on with it, you know. We work, we get a job. Some of us work 60 hours a week and we handle our responsibilities and we pay our bills on time, and that's great. But when you're involving someone else into your life, you need to be in a place where you know exactly where it is that you're heading. And you need to have some financial stability. Look, if you're earning an average salary, I mean, the average salary in the UK is what, 25,000 a year, if I'm not mistaken. I might be completely wrong, or 21,000. It's in the 20s. That's the point. You can't live off that in the UK as a young man who wants to get married. You absolutely cannot. I mean, you can barely survive yourself. If you want to bring someone else into the equation, you need to be making a lot more money. Now, I don't have the philosophy of wait until you're a millionaire and then get married. No, you don't need to wait until you're a millionaire to find someone and then get married. No, but you need to be in a place where you're comfortable enough to cover your own expenses, your own car insurance, your own fuel, purchase things that you need as a man, have money to spend when you go out with your friends. So to be comfortable yourself, and to be also able to cover things that your woman needs. Now, I'll tell you this, fellas. As men, we need to pay everything when it comes to, I'm talking about the rent, the bills, the food. Fuck the scarcity mindset. We don't have scarcity mindset here. We're not going to worry about splitting the £45 gas bill. No. We're not going to stress about, oh honey, you pay 23, I'll pay. We're not going to do that. You need to have confidence in your ability to provide. And if you don't, then that's why you should wait. You shouldn't get married when you're stressing about bills and how am I going to cover this, how am I going to cover that. If you're in that stage in your life, which a lot of men are in their 20s, then marriage should be the last thing on your mind. It should be. Because I tell you what, on paper it sounds great. Meet a woman, start from humble beginnings, eat pot noodles. But we live in a time right now where that simply is not sustainable. You meet a girl right now, she's got an Instagram account, she's constantly eyeing other men. I'm not saying that they're cheating, but they're looking around and they're seeing, okay, well, my friend's boyfriend, he's earning a lot of money, and what is my man doing? He's struggling, he's not able to take us to nice places, he's not, and look, I don't blame women for thinking like that, by the way. I'm not hating on women, I'm not saying, oh, why are they unreasonable? No. If you want to get married to a guy, you need to make sure that he's in a position where he can at least comfortably take care of himself and you. Now, if a woman is expecting a guy to be a millionaire at 22, now that's obviously naive thinking. But women are looking around. And if you're a dude that's currently broke, ambition definitely does help you. And some women will stay with a guy who has ambition. But even then, they're not going to wait 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years for you to get your shit in order in most cases. Right? Some women are more patient than others. But they are eyeing around, they are thinking, right, is this guy ever going to get it right? Is he ever going to stabilize the ship a little bit? Or is he constantly in chaotic waters? Are we constantly struggling to pay bills? Are we constantly struggling to go out and eat and, go to places? And I believe that, as a woman, if you're with a man who's very ambitious and you see him working hard, then you should be patient with him, because a lot of men end up becoming incredibly successful. They just need someone to just be patient with them a little bit, because it does take time. It does take time to create a lifestyle where you're both comfortable. Not every guy is going to be a six-figure earner, and to be part of the six-figure club in the UK, I think it's only 3% of the population, maybe even less, that earn six figures or more, and most of them are in their 40s and 50s. So the actual percentage of young men between the ages of, let's say, 25 to 35, I don't believe you're a young man at 35, but you get the point. Men between the ages of 25 to 35, I don't believe that, that a lot of them are making six figures. Some of them might be hitting the 60, 70 mark, but most of the people essentially that make more than six figures a year are a lot older. So it's going to take time for a guy to establish himself. The book Think and Grow Rich talks about most men entering their financial stride in their 40s and 50s. And I think more women need to be aware of that. In the real world, it's hard to make money. It's not as easy as just waking up, saying, I want to be an entrepreneur, and then within a year, you're making six figures. Now, there are some dodgy ways that people make money, but we're talking about doing things morally right, legally right, and ethically right. We're not talking about being a drug dealer, right? Making money from a haram way, essentially, right? At someone else's expense. No. We're talking about people that are doing things the honest way. And there are so many things I could talk about in this video, such as what I would recommend young men getting into if you're 18, 19, and I'll just touch on it briefly. Oftentimes, you see in today's age that men that learned a trade, such as plumbing, carpentry, men who are electricians, or who studied to be an electrician very early on, learned an actual trade, they tend to be doing really well for themselves in their mid-20s. So, if I could go back in time, I may have also taken up a trade like that, just to have a good source of income as I was working towards my entrepreneurial ventures. Okay, so university isn't always the most ideal option. But of course, you need to be self-aware and really find out what it is that you want to do. Anyways, I digress. You need to discover your purpose first. Before you get yourself into a relationship, before you start discussing marriage, discover what it is that you want to do. And how do you do that? By trying many things out. Go out there. Get into deep waters. Try different things. Try telesales. Try marketing. Whatever it is, man. And not everyone's going to be an entrepreneur. And that's okay. You don't have to be. Some people are fine working for someone else making a great income. The point is, you need to be in a position where you have a rough idea of where you're heading and there's some steady progress in that direction. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be making silly money, but have enough money to cover yourself comfortably and your woman. And as I said, you cover the bills, the food. You're not going to live in scarcity, because if you're in scarcity, believe me, the relationship will not last. If you're counting every penny, how are we going to pay for it? Then you're not ready. Eliminate this Disney mentality that you have right now. We're going to start from the bottom together, and we're going to build it up. As I said, if you're broke, it's only a matter of time before your woman starts thinking, oh, I'm not really going to be patient with this guy. I'm running out of time here. I ain't going to sit around and wait for him. It's just the way the world is. I didn't make the rules up. Okay? So get yourself in a stable position before you can even start talking about marriage. And usually for a lot of guys, having some form of stability starts to happen towards their end, the end of their 20s, early 30s. That's when some men, or most men shall I say, start getting into that position. Now, hey, if you figured it out at 24, 25, you're making great money, by all means, you can consider it, man. I'm not against marriage. I believe in the nuclear family. I don't believe in the degenerate hookup culture. Going out there, taking a different person to bed every day. No. That's degenerate. There are pros to getting married. Absolutely there is. And of course there are cons, as people are obviously going to point out in the comment sections. Well, you know what, if she divorces you and takes half the money, listen, it's a risk. It is. That you must be willing to take. Okay? But of course there are ways that you can protect yourself as a man before you even get married. But the point is this: stabilize the ship, identify your purpose, figure out what it is that you want to do with your life, and enjoy your life as well. You have to enjoy it before you bring someone else into it. If you're miserable right now, you bring someone else into your life, man, it's a recipe for disaster. So actually enjoy your life. Travel, go and do things. I'm not saying that you can't do that with your partner. In fact, I think it's better to travel with a woman that you're in love with. Absolutely it is. It's better than going alone. But the point I'm trying to say here is enjoy your own life. No one is going to come and make you happy. It's not your potential wife's responsibility to get into your life and make you happy. You should be happy with the life you're living right now. And then she comes into your life and you guys share your happiness together. It's not anyone's responsibility to make the other happy. Alright? So hopefully this video has given you some clarity. No, marriage is a noble thing. Go into the girl that you're interested in, go into her father, introducing yourself, doing things the old school way, man, like a man, shaking his hand, not hiding away, not being nervous of meeting the old man. No, be a man about it, man. I said man so many times. Be a man. But before you do that, stabilize your life first. Have some money coming in, identify your purpose. Hopefully this video has helped you. If it does, hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.